Hey folks, welcome back. Yes, I am alive. We'll get into that probably later in the little bit in this video, but first we're going to get to this Lincoln Town Car here. It's an '06, and I've had it probably almost 10 years. 10 years this May. Um, and about maybe 2018 or 19, I had some plugged, at least one plugged catalytic converter in this thing, and I replaced them. This thing actually had 4 catalytic converters on it, and I just want to show the system that I've been using because I got it out when making a repair on it, and because I've seen this discussed a lot of times on the Facebook groups and everything, can it be done? And you're going to get a whole bunch of different answers. I'm just going to show you what did work and what has worked for 6 years ish. So anyways, yeah, let's have a look see at it. All right, this is the pipe out of the on the right side. So coming right off your manifold here, you got your upstream O2 sensor here, piece of flex pipe. This is where one of the catalytic converters used to be. It actually used to come up at an angle. I don't have that piece anymore. It's long gone. And then this catalytic converter, which is just at the time, cheap $50 or $60 one, probably from Napa, that I bought, 2-inch pipe, inlet and outlet. That's really all this is. And then you got your downstream O2 sensor right here, and then just goes right here back, and it bolts onto the rest of the pipe that goes back into the muffler and whatnot. So this system, this particular catalytic converter, so the reason why we've got this out is because this piece of flex pipe broke. You can see daylight through somehow or another, but probably not going to be able to get it on camera. But anyways, you can see it's broke and developed a really bad exhaust leak. It wasn't quite this bad until I just kind of went and just took my hands and just moved that, But anyways, it was bad enough. This is supposed to flex, but it was long done flexing. Anyways, so we've got this thing welded back in its place, and so really all we need to do now is just go and bolt this back up and hook the wires and stuff back in here. But like I said, I did this probably 6 years ago, maybe a little more than 6 years ago, maybe 7, I don't know. This car currently has 521,000 miles on it. So at the time I did this repair, I would estimate, I think this car had 485. That's kind of a guess. It could have 480. It could have a 490. I don't know. But anyways, it's been working. I've never thrown a code for the catalytic converters. What is that? A P0? Oh, I'll put it down in the deal there. There'd be 2 of them, one for each side, each bank. But that's, so essentially the, like I said, this came off of the right side. And then this is over the left side's, pretty much designed somewhat the same. It had different looking parts and everything like that. I can maybe see if I could sneak the camera underneath there, and we'll see about what this looks like installed. And but yeah, that's pretty much essentially this system's been working like this for a long time, at least 30,000 40,000 miles, give or take. And so that, and I pretty much this time I decided there was really nothing wrong with this. I didn't replace it again. I didn't even look up prices to see what this could be done or whatever. But I mean, there was no issues with, even after the exhaust leak here, I still didn't throw a code. Maybe that's because I just didn't. If I'd have drove it more, but you could really hear the exhaust. It was getting pretty loud. Started off small, and then it got bigger as the vibrations shook it more and broke it to pieces. But it's not going to affect the way the engine runs, because this was after the upstream oxygen sensor, so that would have been all fine. But you would have messed with the readings probably coming out of here. Maybe it would have threw a code. Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. Maybe the rest of all the exhaust coming out of here, this thing really thinks it's working good. I don't know. But you know, this system does work. Originally, I said had plugged catalytic converters. I don't know if that's a common thing with this thing, but this thing did come from the Midwest, Chicago, so it does have a fair amount of rust underneath it. Not so much that nothing's rusted through like a rusted frame or anything like that, but it's a lot more rustier. When I've got one spot right here, like this, but we just don't see cars like this here, and I'm in Eastern Oregon now. He was in Western Idaho, but yeah, we don't see cars like this as much around here because we don't have the salt being put on the roadways and whatnot. So, but anyways, this can only be done obviously if it's legal to do in your state that you live in, namely, I know this would not be legal in California because for one thing, even if you were to cut and install new catalytic converters, all 4 of them or whatever, and they were pretty much like, because you've cut it and did all this work, that wouldn't be legal to do there. So I'm not really sure on, if you have a state that does do emissions checks, or in a county, if it's done by that and it's more lenient and all they matter is just whether or not you don't have a check engine light, then it might be okay. We don't have emissions testing here, so this is going to be just fine, and it does work. This does work just fine. You don't need the 4, however they decide to do that. I don't know. I do recall that possibly, I don't remember exactly how this was in the system, but it might have been possible that the oxygen sensor could have been in front of one of the other catalytic converters, and I may have just moved this. I don't remember. This looks like it could have been welded. The reason why this has been re-welded here is this was actually kind of at an angle, and I probably shouldn't have had it really that way, and so it was just barely, you can see little spots here where it kind of touched some of the, of the bottom there, but it's not too big of wasn't too big of a deal. It never made any issue. It's just that now that I had it out here, it looks like, well, let's just cut this and angle this a little bit, and this will be flat instead of at an angle. That was just kind of a mistake I did, when I put it together. But, this could have been welded by me right here. I really don't remember for sure how this system was. I just knew that, once you've got the catalytic converter out of here, on this part and putting it in here, that you need to have your secondary downstream O2 sensor after the catalytic converter, and that's how the system looks. So I'm going to see if I can get the camera in there, and we'll go ahead and install this and get the camera in there, and I'll show you maybe the other side and see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to try to do the best I can and get this all shown on here as it's installed. I got up there where it bolts right onto the exhaust manifold flange. So there's the upstream exhaust, our flex pipe here. Got this one here, and then it's bolted onto the flange there. See if I can get a back, I got to move farther back. Here's the other side. You can see we've got our downstream O2 sensor there, all the way back. Same thing with the flange, same type of catalytic converter. Obviously I did not use, I either used a piece I had. I don't remember how all this went together. The only difference on this is the upstream O2 sensors actually places is built onto the manifold itself, so I didn't have to do anything with that. And I wonder why did I use a flex piece pipe here? I don't know. It's probably what I had or part of the system. It never had any flex pipe to begin with. Not even here. This is right where that, I remember that one because it was funky because of how it bends. But that's not how it was in the system. This is probably just something I used and just something I just decided to reuse. It's a lot easier putting it together because it can twist just a little bit and bend. That's probably one of the reasons why I did it. This may have just fit really good, so I went ahead and, you know, did that. Anyways, yeah, that's the reason we've got that. Well, that might be a little better shot of it, but, you know, not a whole lot different, but all put together now. There's a different shot of it from out here. You know, is this the right way to do things? No, not really, but it works. Like I said, no check engine lights, nothing. System's been on here for at the very least 6 years, maybe 7, and it would have been just fine, but the other flex tubing or piping that I used right here failed, and so we had to replace it. Wasn't too bad, just cut the old one off, re-welded it, tacked it, stuck it up here, made sure it was going to fit. We even did a better modification because, like I said, this thing was tilted this way too much, so I made it particularly flat so it has more room underneath here, you know. But well, anyways, that's all done, and like I said, system works, does what it's supposed to. Find out if it's legal and wherever you're supposed to be able to do it, I don't know. But I think I'm going to do another video, as I mentioned before, about, you know, everything that happened with my shop and whatnot. Probably going to do another video with that, you know, but we still, you know, I've got this old barn, basically, place I bought, and gonna just got to do tons of work in here to get this going. There's the Lincoln, unfortunately, just under a bunch of dust. But is this the world's worst concrete job you've ever seen? I don't know. We got what looks like goat tracks, and, you know, if you go over here, dog, and then I bet you find, you know, and then you go a little bit more and there's like bird tracks and stuff like that in here, and then over here you got more goat, bird, or something. Just like every animal in the world tracked over their concrete job, so something's gonna have to be fixed at a later date. But anyways, we still got stuff coming up as soon as I get time. I don't know exactly when it's all gonna happen, but still here, and got a new shop kitty, came with the place. There it is. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get to doing more videos and getting more projects and stuff when we get, mostly just been doing getting the house lived in and stuff. It needed a lot of work when we got it, so everything else kind of got put on the back burner. So yeah, anyways, that's that, and thanks for watching.